Hi there, my name is Jessica, and I will be discussing vitamin B12 and what happens in the body when we become deficient in it. Maybe a couple causes of deficiency and the things that we can do to increase the amount of B12 we have in our body. B12 is a water-soluble vitamin that plays a key role in several body functions, including RNA and DNA production or synthesis, healthy red blood cells, maintaining the myelin sheath on nerve fibers, and metabolism and energy production. We need approximately 2.4 milligrams daily, and we can meet those requirements through diet and supplementation. Meat and poultry, fish, eggs and dairy are all whole food sources of B12, but there are fortified sources as well, such as soy milk and ready-to-eat cereals. Deficiencies can occur due to insufficient levels in our diet or malabsorption issues, such as a lack of hydrochloric acid, which impairs the body's ability to begin breaking down the vitamin B12 protein complex in the stomach, as reduced HCl leads to reduced pepsin, and pepsin is the enzyme that helps to begin breaking down protein. Insufficient pancreatic enzymes can also lead to malabsorption issues because the pancreatic enzymes hydrolyze the B12R protein complex in the small intestine, which again leads to an absorption issue. Gastric bypass surgery can cause B12 deficiency because those processes, the steps, are being skipped. The digestion in the stomach and the absorption in the small intestine. Pernicious anemia can cause a deficiency. It's a macrocytic anemia that is characterized by insufficient intrinsic factor to release the B12 in our food, in our intestines. Intrinsic factor deficiency is caused by gastritis, or can be caused by gastritis or autoimmune reactions in which the body attacks the parietal cells that release intrinsic factor in the small intestine. Other issues or diseases that can cause malabsorption issues are Crohn's, celiac, Graves, lupus, and also bacterial or parasitic growth in the intestines can lead to poor absorbency of B12 and intrinsic factor in the intestines. Ways that we can work to increase our B12 intake are adding things like meat, eggs, poultry, and fish into our diet, and things that people wouldn't necessarily think of as ways you can use diet to help our vitamin intake. When we are eating in a rush, or we're running around trying to get things done quickly, and so we eat on the go, we're usually in our sympathetic mode, so we are fight or flight, which means everything's go, go, go. Well, digestion suffers when we're in that mode. So if we can switch to our parasympathetic or rest and digest mode, that's allowing the body to focus on digesting the food in our stomach and going through the entire process from stomach to intestines. So eating slowly and mindfully will boost the adequate levels of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, which leads to better pepsin, which leads to proper breaking down of proteins, releasing the B12. Making sure that we take the time to eat slowly and mindfully helps the process of digestion from the beginning to the end. It's a very common, or it should be a very common, commonly known thing that vegans or vegetarians can become severely deficient in B12 due to the fact that they don't eat meat or meat products. Hopefully, if you're a vegan and you're working to become healthier, you understand that because you're not eating meat, that means you're not receiving a good source of vitamin B12, and that if you're not getting enough B12, you can cause permanent damage to your neurological system, and you can give yourself anemia due to improper red blood cell production. A little known thing, or at least I didn't know until I just learned this, if you're elderly, you begin to stop producing hydrochloric acid properly, or in adequate amounts to break down the protein, the B12 protein complex, which allows for the body to ingest it. So in these cases, whether you're a vegan or a vegetarian, or someone who has issues with proper hydrochloric acid production in the stomach, supplementing or eating fortified foods can help. The synthetic version of B12 can be absorbed in the body without having to be broken down in the complex of the stomach. So fortified foods like soy milk or cereals can help, and there's supplements that you can take which can help bypass that B12 deficiency. But you definitely want to make sure you're being aware of that if you don't eat meat regularly, because B12 deficiency can cause significant and permanent neurological damage if the deficiency goes on too long. I hope this was a little interesting, that you learned a little bit, and I hope you guys are gentle and kind to me in the comments. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.